today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you.
And looking back in anger, have the Gallaghers split for good. Good stuff, Chris. We'll see you then. Thanks very much indeed. Oasis have split, and according to Noel Gallagher, this time it's for good. Noel announced he's quitting the band because he can't work a day longer with his brother Liam. The final straw came when the two came to blows before a gig at a festival in Paris. Sky's showbiz correspondent Steve Hargrave now reports.
Some might say it's been on the cards for a while, but today it seems Oasis have actually split up. So what's the story this time? Well, last night they cancelled another show in Paris, just days after they didn't appear at the V Festival, with rumours of a huge bust-up backstage and Liam breaking Noel's guitar, and then Noel issued a statement confirming he's decided to slide away. "It's with some sadness and great relief to tell you I quit Oasis tonight," he said. "I simply could not go on working with Liam a day longer."
It was what we all bought into, you know, as the British record buying public. We enjoyed watching these brothers go from having nothing to having everything, and you know, having the odd scrap along the way. But I think in certainly in the last year or so, it's become a bit uglier and not as enjoyable to watch.
The writing's been on the Wonderwall for a while now, and the brothers have always played on their sibling rivalry.
Shut up! Shut up! Right. If you think rock and roll is getting arrested,
rock and roll is about being yourself, and I want to fucking about having a drink and
rock and roll's about music. Music. Shut up, man.
And Liam's always conceded that he and Noel are pretty much half a world away from each other.
It's all right, man. I mean, you know, we don't go for walks in the park, you know. We don't go and sit, you know, feed each other popcorn in a cinema, you know what I mean? We just do what we do. When we need to speak about... The thing is about me and our kid, there's no in it anymore, you know what I mean? There's no bullshit. We just... Whatever needs to be said, we say it.
They've always argued, of course, so is this split really for real? Well, 9 years ago, they headlined this very stage here at this weekend's Leeds Festival. Today, though, feelings are mixed about the news.
It's quite sad, actually, yeah. They're good I don't really like the people in it. Like, Liam annoys me a lot. But, like, the music they make is great, isn't it? I mean, everyone loves it. It's classic.
About time Noel left, really.
I don't know, it's like a Jordan, Peter kind of thing. Will they get back together or not? I don't know.
So Noel and Liam are now free to do whatever they want. For Noel, it's the inevitable solo album, and Liam's been busy creating his own clothing range. Very nice.
I'm not doing it for the money either. Just doing it because there's a lack of stuff that, you know, the things I want, I can't really get, you know what I mean?
The band that have been in and out of fashion then are seemingly no more. Distraught fans will just have to roll with it. Steve Hargrave, Sky News.
Well, let's talk a bit more about the big bust. Joining me now, John Harris of The Guardian, also author of The Last Party, a look back at the Britpop era. Thanks very much indeed for joining us, John. Do we mind that Oasis have separated in this way?
I think some people mind. I mean, the days in which millions and millions of people loved Oasis, which was true in the mid-90s, have gone now. But they still have a very large constituency of people who are very fond of them. They're one of the few groups left who, at the drop of a hat, can fill a football stadium, largely by playing their old songs. But as you heard in your package, you know, they still have got very loyal fans who I think will be disappointed. But there again, I think the fans will take this with a pinch of salt because they've seen similar ructions happen in the past on several occasions.
The thing is, you know, we've just had a long, hard look at Michael Jackson, haven't we? And his career still rested on something that happened over 10 years ago. Sure, he could fill a stadium, but it wouldn't have been the performance that people went to see 10 years ago, would it?
It's very hard maintaining Michael Jackson-Oasis comparisons. I mean, we know Michael Jackson's definitely dead. Oasis, the corpse may be twitching, and they may yet come back to life. I mean, the first thing to bear in mind, really, about this is where we are musically, and there are very few obstacles now to reunions. Not so long ago, a group calling themselves Queen toured, despite the fact that Freddie Mercury was long gone. You can get back together, you'll be more popular very often than you were in your supposed heyday. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if in 3, 4, 5, 6 years' time, the Gallagher brothers announce that they've made up, come back and play football stadiums again. That's the way the career path works. And the other thing is, as I say, 94, 96, 2000 even, when Oasis played a number of shows without Noel, it seemed from the outside as if they'd broken up, and lo and behold, they've come back. And I think the brotherly bond as volatile and as hateful on occasion as their relationship is, does count for something. I mean, back in Burnage near Manchester, their mum may yet knock their heads together.
Is there evidence that this love-hate relationship is in some way creative, or is it a side show to the creativity of
I don't
Oasis?
think... I mean, Noel writes most of the songs. Liam's had a go, and his songs really haven't matched up. And I don't think... I could be wrong about this, but thinking about this, I don't think there's an Oasis song that specifically deals with their brotherly relationship or the lack of it. So I think, actually, the fact that Liam is a volatile, instinctive, quite painful sort of person to be around a lot of the time, actually, when this thing kind of flares up, has been nothing but an inconvenience for his brother. I don't think he's got any inspiration out of it at all. And there are occasions when Noel seems to have written about the upside of this. They've got a famous song, Acquiesce, and the chorus in that says, "Because we need each other, we believe in one another." And that was always taken as being him saying that there was a kind of mutual dependence between the two of them. But I can't think, apart from that, of any occasion when Noel has got near writing about his brother. Okay. I think their relationship is so weird, he wouldn't give him the satisfaction of knowing he'd written a song about him.
All right, John Harris, just as an expert, and we are out of time now, but which are you looking forward to more, the solo career or the clothing line?
It's hard to say. I would say the solo career, but I want Liam to have a solo career and go out in a blaze of glory.
Great stuff. All right, John Harris, thanks very much indeed for joining us this afternoon. You're watching Sky News. These are top stories today. The funeral service...
Definitely not maybe. Oasis confirmed they've split after Noel says he's had enough of his brother Liam. Now, Noel Gallagher has announced he's leaving his band, Oasis. He says he simply couldn't go on working with his brother Liam for a day longer. The final straw came when the two came to blows before a gig at a festival in Paris last night. We've been asking fans at Leeds Festival what they think of the news.
They were like 11 out of 10 in my life. Liam, especially, you know, felt great with him. It's fantastic.
I don't really like the people in it. Like, Liam annoys me a lot. But like, the music they make is great, isn't it? I mean, everyone loves it. It's classic.
They were good, but as I said, whatever it was 4 years ago when I saw them at V, they're good, but they're not as good as they think they are. Or they're not as good as Liam thinks they are.
Gutted. I think they've still got it in them to carry on, but clearly not getting on. Liam being a bit of an idiot by the sounds of it. And Noel will be sorted though, won't he? Just crack on with what he does best, I suppose.
Police in...
Noel Gallagher has announced that he's leaving Oasis because he can't work a day longer with his brother Liam. The songwriter and guitarist said it was with sadness and great relief that he was quitting the band, one of the biggest in the history of British pop. Paul Brennan reports.
They were always a volatile pairing. Noel, the talented guitarist and songwriter, Liam, the charismatic frontman with the snarling vocal style. Bandmates, brothers, but hardly friends, as Liam himself would freely admit.
It's all right, man. I mean, you know, we don't go for walks in the park, you know. We don't go and sit, you know, feed each other popcorn in a cinema, you know what I mean? We just do what we do. When we need to speak about... The thing is about me and our kid, there's no in it anymore, you know what I mean? There's no bullshit. We just... Whatever needs to be said, we say it.
When the band pulled out of last week's V Festival, viral laryngitis was the excuse offered to fans, but music critic Neil McCormick says the writing's been on the wonder wall for a long time.
It's just got colder and darker and more distant in recent years, and on this tour there's maybe a sort of acknowledgement that they're not communicating in any way, shape or form. The only thing they do is get on stage and play together.
On the Oasis website, a statement from Noel. It is with some sadness and great relief to tell you that I quit Oasis tonight. People will write and say what they like, but I simply could not go on working with Liam a day longer. Apologies to all the people who bought tickets for the shows in Paris, Constance and Milan. So is Oasis finished? Definitely or just maybe? With the volatile Gallagher brothers, anything's possible. Paul Brennan, Sky News.
Here, Noel Gallagher has announced he's quitting the band Oasis. He says he can no longer work with his brother Liam after a series of rows. Last night, the band cancelled a performance in Paris, as Lisa Mzimba now reports.
On stage, their edgy brand of Britpop won them millions of fans.
What's going on?
Off stage, Liam's edgy attitude often threatened to overshadow their music. Recently, their disagreements have become more public. Liam saying of Noel, "He doesn't like me, and I don't like him." Now Noel has quit the band, saying he simply could not go on working with Liam a day longer, even though some say lately they've barely seen each other.
Recently, I don't think they've spent a lot of time together, apart from the time when they've actually been on stage. I mean, as I understand it, last week when they were playing at the V Festival in Staffordshire, on the Saturday they both went to the Manchester City game, were at different ends of the ground, and then got separate cars to the gig, and eventually met up when they walked on stage.
With a string of hits, they were at the forefront of cool Britannia throughout the 1990s. Even then, band politics were having an impact, with both pulling out of major tours. It fueled speculation of a permanent split.
Is it all over for Oasis, Liam?
Other members quit the group. Now Noel has left too. He was Oasis's main songwriter, and without him, it's hard to imagine the band continuing. Lizo Mzimba, BBC News.